Hi, everyone. Welcome to Power Tracks. We're at the Kalamazoo County Fair in Army Armstrong. I'm glad to see you off the midway and off all the rides. We're ready to rock and roll with monster trucks, and we're getting close to the end of the season. That means kind of do or die time.
Boy, Richard, do or die, I don't know if that's good enough expression. It's a war out there. The reason being these guys have been chasing these national points. We do have a points leader, the Carolina Crusher, but right behind him, the Equalizer. This rookie driver's coming after him, but you cannot forget USA 1. All the other trucks are running so close. What these drivers are doing at this point in time, they're pulling the gloves off and they're going street fight. It is down to the war.
Now, two trucks he didn't name that you got to keep your eye on. That's King KRUNCH and Gravedigger.
Yeah, King KRUNCH took the big win at Nashville, Tennessee. He took 2 wins down there 2 weeks in a row, so he's a player for the national championship. The Gravedigger, Dennis, we're going to see one good run out of him for sure. That's a qualifying shot, but that one run usually is worth the price of admission.
And we never know what to expect out of Dennis Anderson. Let's talk about this track. It is long, it is fast, and Army, to me, it looks dangerous.
I don't know about dangerous. What's going to happen is it's a steep ramp track. Some of the drivers are walking back saying the only way we're going to get any higher is that they put rocket boosters on us, because when we say a steep ramp track, it makes the trucks launch higher into the air. Now, you can't go forward when you're flying through the air. The drivers got to figure out how to stay close to the cars to get the ground speed for the second jump, because at the end of the night, I look for somebody to jump all the cars at the finish line. That's the caliber of competition we're going to see here today.
First round action straight ahead on Power Tracks.
Power Tracks and the Renegades TNT Monster Truck Challenge is brought to you by the Heartbeat of America, today's Chevy trucks.
And welcome back to the Kalamazoo County Fairgrounds in Michigan for the Renegades TNT Monster Truck Challenge. We've got a standing room only crowd and a beautiful night and getting ready to rock and roll, Army.
Well, Richard, you know, the Kalamazoo County Fair Board told us the only time that the fair sells out are when the monster trucks roll into town, and the best in the sport are here this evening.
And there's the best of the beast so far. It is Rowdy Rod Litzau, USA 1. He's the best of the beast because he's the defending Renegades national champion. He was our top qualifier tonight at 8.29 seconds. He's about to make his bye run. Then it's going to be John Breen and Mad Dog taking on Gary Wiggins, Mopar Magic, the Jersey Outlaw Ford of Madman Mike Wine against Jesse Berge and the Auto Value playing for keeps. Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger taking on the Ford of John Moore, and no problem, we'll have the Equalizer, the rookie, dangerous David Morris going up against Bennett Clark and the Clydesdale. King KRUNCH with Scott Stevens, one of the innovators in this sport, taking on Bob Breen and Wild Hair. Starvin, Marvin Smith, the Stomper, takes on John KWASNIEWSKI and the Buffalo Trimmer. Carolina Crusher, Gary Porter, number 1 in the current national point standings against Dave WIECZOREK and Nightlife. And the USA 1 has completed his bye run. Now it's time for side-by-side racing. Up first to the line, Gary Wiggins, the Mopar Magic Dodge. He is out of Williamston, North Carolina, and he's taking on the KG veteran, John Breen, Chevrolet Mad Dog out of Missouri.
John Breen's been around the sport for about 14 years, definitely a veteran. Gary sits on the other side, driving a Dodge-powered vehicle. Now, he's the only Dodge truck that came out and wanted to run against these Ford and Chevrolets, and a lot of Dodge fans out there, you believe in a Chrysler product, you got to pull for the Mopar Magic. He's up here battling with the big boys. Breen jumps on him on the start line with a Mad Dog. Let's see if the Dodge can pull back. He's trying to. No, Breen's going to go to the next round, Richard.
John Breen easily knocking off the Mopar Magic of Gary Wiggins. The crowd appreciating the run and the effort. And so John Breen now, in the next round of action, will be facing USA 1 and Rowdy Rod Litzau.
John, since we've seen you last, you have taken a win. You're going to go up against USA 1 in the next round. What are you going to do?
Oh, he's just another rookie just in the way, so I'm going to knock him out.
Feel that confident with the Mad Dog?
Yeah, we got a new motor in it. I had one of them rookies badmouth me, so I'm out to knock them all out.
Well, pretty confident words. There's Rod Litzau as he will be taking on John Breen in the next round, and Army, no love lost there.
No, what's happening, Richard, is these guys have been battling all year long. We're getting near the end of the year, and hey, the grins are gone. they got war paint on right now.
Going for all the blood. As we get ready for our next race, it's going to be the Ford Jersey Outlaw, the Madman, Mike Wine. He's out of New Jersey taking on the hometown boy, Jesse Berge, and the Auto Value Store playing for keeps, Chevrolet.
We're glad to have Jesse on the tour with us with the Chevrolet Auto Value sponsorship. In front of his own hometown, comes out a little bit of a bad bounce. It's going to really hurt. The kid from New Jersey goes to the next round for the Ford camp. Hometown boy is going to go on the trailer, Richard.
So it's going to be 27-year-old Mike Wine and the Jersey Outlaw Ford moving on into the quarterfinals.
A real tough track, taking some real strange bounces out there. You're going to advance, but there's a real strong possibility the Gravedigger is going to be setting that other lane. What goes through your mind?
Well, right now, I'm very proud. The truck's been running fantastic. For the last 2 weeks, we've had nothing but problems. I've not even been able to go past the first round, so right now I'm just ecstatic to be able to go against the Digger, and I'm all out for him. He better run his best when he goes against me.
Well, the Gravedigger is scheduled to race next. However, Army in qualifying, the Gravedigger suffered some mechanical problems. They're still working on the machine. I understand they think they might be able to get it repaired and come back for their race in just a little while. Here's some videotape replay of Digger's qualifying earlier.
What happened when he went over the last set of jumps, if you watch the vehicle, you should be able to see some sparks as the front drive shaft let go on the truck. Now, we told you in the opening of the show that he is notorious for one run. It looks like he might be able to get back and actually get in competition this evening, Richard. I really hope so. These people would really love to see this truck. It's got to be one of the most popular trucks on the tour.
Well, of course, a lot of the guys on the circuit call Dennis now one-run Anderson.
The Roland Vocational School is what it is.
Well, here's a couple of hot shots on the circuit. David Morris, you couldn't get any hotter. He's currently number 2 in the national point standing. He's a rookie driver from Tennessee. It is the Equalizer Chevrolet, and he's taking on Bad News Bennett Clark, the Powder Springs, Georgia native, in the Clydesdale Chevy.
What we can watch for on this run is a quick lead by the Equalizer. That's where we are right now. He leads so quick, and now Clark has to try to pull him back on the other end. Is he going to be able to do it?
Good race.
No, Clark was there. He's pulling him back, but the Equalizer jumped out enough on the starting line to hold on for the win.
It was a good race, though, by both drivers, but the Equalizer moves on into the quarterfinals. And we're going to move back with first-round action in just a moment on Power Tracks and ESPN. We are midway through the first round of action, and our next competitors coming to the line will be Bob Breen, the Wild Hair Chevrolet. He hails out of Missouri, Barnett, Missouri. His brother John, the driver of Mad Dog, they're kind of a team on the circuit. And he's taking on Scott Stevens, the King KRUNCH Chevrolet. Scott's out of the Badlands of Woodlands, Texas.
Scott Stevens has to be one of the premier drivers on the tour, and you're not going to see him in our top 10 points. The reason being, he didn't get the truck finished till about halfway through the year. He's coming out. He's actually gearing for 1990. He's using this for a test and tune session, and he is testing and tuning with the best of them. Richard, he made that look easy.
So the former motorcycle racer, Scott Stevens, has just waltzed his way to another win. This one in the King KRUNCH, and he'll move on into the quarterfinals, where he will face a very, very tough David Morris in the Equalizer in the next round. Let's go trackside. Army's got the winner.
Scott, before the night's over, do you feel like somebody's going to jump all the cars at the finish line into the track? Are they going to get that quick?
Yeah, I think, if I can just get a good straight line at them, I can do it. I know USA 1 can. Digger's coming back, Equalizer. There's 4 or 5 trucks here tonight that can do it.
The truck you got to worry about right now is this kid out of Tennessee with the Equalizer.
Yeah, I got to cut a good light and, not let him get away from me. We can beat him.
Next up, as the Ferris wheel goes in the background. By the way, Army, that's where I'm going to be later tonight.
He brought out an interesting point. Gravedigger's still in this thing.
That's right. One run Anderson gets maybe 2 tonight.
All right, let's see what's happened. The Chevrolet people, they're going to have something to cheer about. The Stomper truck. Now, who's he going to be going against, Rich?
Well, that's Marvin Smith in Stomper Chevrolet, and he's up against John KWASNIEWSKI, the Buffalo Trimmer. And Army, this is a guy that has really started coming on strong. I would look for a great run from KWASNIEWSKI.
Well, I call him Johnny K. I can't pronounce the young man's last name. So Johnny K out of New York is making a name for himself. He's one of the 3 rookie drivers we have on the tour, Mike Wine, David Morris, and this kid. And they're all players. Whoa. Look at this. He's not afraid of the Stomper Chevrolet. Good run. They're not getting as much air as I thought they would, Richard. These guys have figured this track out in a hurry.
Earlier tonight we were talking about how steep the ramps were, and we were afraid it might cause problems. That has not been the case, as Johnny K, as you call him, John KWASNIEWSKI, gets the win and moves on. This is Gary Porter, Carolina Crusher. He's currently number 1 in the national point standing. Chevrolet out of Wadesboro, North Carolina, but he's up against probably the most consistent driver in America. I call him Super Dave WIECZOREK. It is the Nightlife Chevy out of Grand Island, Nebraska.
I think Dave WIECZOREK is one of the best monster truck drivers in the sport. He's a privateer, runs out of his own pocketbook. Can't really lean on a whole lot of equipment, but believe me, he could be the Carolina Crusher's worst nightmare. You can't take this guy for granted. If you do, bam, he'll get you. Let's see what's going to happen. Crusher comes out first. WIECZOREK's going to have to play catch-up, but he always comes on strong at the end. Richard, look at this. He did it. An upset. The national points leader goes on the trailer.
So Super Dave WIECZOREK has done it. He's got the upset. He moves now into the quarterfinals as Nightlife has knocked off the #1 truck in America, Carolina Crusher, at the finish line.
Dave WIECZOREK just walked up in the interview area laughing. What are you laughing about here? A lot of people are just kind of quiet. They saw an upset.
A lot of guys are having a hard time beating Gary. He's been taking all the points, and I finally got my chance of beating him, and I'm glad I beat him.
It does feel good?
It does.
See you in that next round.
All right.
Gary, you're on top. Everybody's coming after you. You know they're going to throw everything they have at you when you go to that line.
When I come off the first set of cars that time, I don't know why my truck cut off for some reason. It just died. I don't know if it was fuel, electrical, or what it was, and it cost me the race.
It was definitely a clean cut. I could hear it on this end, and also it bounced into the left, and over to the left side of the track, there's a mud bog pit from an event that was held here earlier. Did that upset you at all, or just the engine going away hurt?
No, the bounce didn't bother me at all. It was just when my motor cut off. I was just helpless, sort of, way to speak, and it cost me the race.
Now, I'll tell you what I think cost him the race. It was something by the name of a Dave WIECZOREK.
I told you WIECZOREK, in my opinion, is one of the best drivers in this sport. You get him a sponsor, that kid will play big league ball with you.
Well, the red lights are on. That means he's ready to rock and roll. We're talking about Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger against the Ford, and a tough Ford it is. John Moore, no problem, and you can see the drive shaft has been fixed on the Gravedigger.
Broke a drive shaft in the first round. What we're going to watch here is a kamikaze on 4 wheels. Call the Gravedigger. What's going to happen? Moore's trying to pull him back in. Anderson comes out. Cleared all the car. Richard, we wondered about it. He's the first one to clear the final jump. 12 cars, and he went over them all.
A good race by John Moore, but not good enough, and the Gravedigger moves on. We move on back in a moment on Power Tracks. And welcome back to Power Tracks. Richard Leake and Army Armstrong moving into the quarterfinals. And Army, our first race will have the matchup John Breen wanted. Remember, John said he wanted to get his hands on USA 1. He's got him at the starting line. It is Rod Litzau. The guys are calling him Flipper now on the circuit, taking on John Breen and Mad Dog.
Getting your hands on Litzau in the USA 1 truck's about like running into a dark room and grabbing hold of a bear. What do? Let go of it or hang on to it? We're going to find out right now. And I got a feeling Breen is going to wish he'd let go of this rascal, because Litzau, oh, good lead by Breen on the start line. Litzau's going to have to come back. Horsepower's in favor. Look at this. USA 1 flexing its muscle. Second truck in a row to clear them all. Richard, you talked about it at the beginning.
Rowdy Rod Litzau with a resounding win over the Mad Dog. That advances USA 1 into the semifinals.
You guys are dedicated to winning this thing for the second year in a row, but luck seems to be on the other side of the fence from you. How are you going to overcome that?
Well, we ain't going to play with luck anymore. We played with that, long enough. Now I'm just playing with my old game like I did last year. I'm coming out here strong, and I'm out here to win.
Now that is confident speaking, but he has a right to be confident. He is the defending national champion. The guys call him Flipper because he's the only monster truck driver I know that has flipped his truck over, 5 times now in less than 12 months. Our next matchup is the Gravedigger, Dennis Anderson, going up against the Ford of Mike Wine. Keep your eye on the Jersey Outlaw. He has been running super lately.
Historically, Dennis Anderson will tell you when everything is go, when it's on 100% kill, the Gravedigger will have both of those awesome red lights on. They're both on. He is coming like a rocket right down the right side of the track. Anderson is there.
There could be some problem, though, Army. It didn't look like Gravedigger's front 2 tires went up over the junk cars.
Okay, the track crew's checking it out. We'll stay tuned and find out. The rule is you got to hit what you're jumping with both front tires. They go back and video replay. What's the call on it, Richard?
They are still waiting. I'm waiting for word myself topside. This is a replay of that race. In question is his move coming up right here. Did both tires go over the front end of the junk cars there? And here comes the official word. It was a good legal run, so the Gravedigger moves to the semifinals.
Dennis, how bad do you want USA 1, Rod Litzau?
I want him real bad. That's what I'm trying to do is pick these lanes out here. I've tried the left lane and the right lane. I'd really like to jump back in that left lane and try it again, but if we get up there, I want to nail him to the wall hard.
You got a handful of him. Good luck to you.
You ain't kidding. He's got his mess together, but if I can keep mine together, it's going to be a war.
Now, we'll look forward to that semifinal matchup, USA 1 against Gravedigger. Now, who else is going to be in the semifinals? It'll either be Scott Stevens and King KRUNCH or David Morris and the Equalizer, rookie against veteran.
Rookie will be driving in the red truck, the veteran, the high-tech truck, runs the onboard computer. Stevens comes out with the Texas truck. He's making it tough on Morris. Morris got to come back.
Whoa!
I believe Morris nipped him. Oh, we got some shutdown problems. They were running it out the back door, Richard.
I could not tell from topside who the winner was. You saw David Morris shut it down violently up against the guardrail. Looks like he may have a right or a left front tire gone down on him from hitting that guardrail. That is the TNT officials looking at the finish line tape, and there it is. David Morris and the Equalizer gets the win by 3/100ths of a second.
Well, Scott, the word is the Equalizer did get you by 3/100ths of a second.
Yeah, that's not bad. This is only the 7th time the truck's been down the track. Every week it's getting faster. A couple of weeks we were winning. Tonight we were off just a little bit. Maybe I should have been driving a little bit harder. There's tomorrow night. We've got a lot more races to go, and I still think we're going to be maybe a truck that's going to mess up a lot of guys in the final round before it's over with.
Dave Morris, 3/100ths of a second. Not very much, but enough in this game of thousandths of seconds.
Yeah, that was a real close race. I wasn't sure who won it. I knew when we hit the cars, we were just dead heat up, and I was just praying that I had a little edge on him. I had her to the floor when we went for the second set of cars. That's what I was hoping to pass him in the air.
What about the shutdown? You definitely had your hands full trying to get that truck under control and get it stopped before you got into the guardrail down here on the finish line end.
Yeah, yes, I did. I didn't know what kind of shape I was going to be in when I landed. I knew I was going for the hole in the guardrail, and I was afraid to get on the brakes, and I was afraid to try to turn it, so I just thought I'd kind of slow it down gradually, so that's what I did.
So David Morris is in the semifinals, and he will face the winner of this race, either Dave WIECZOREK and Nightlife, or Johnny K, John KWASNIEWSKI, and Buffalo Trimmer in the semis.
Two different theories of racing. Johnny K's going to try to go out and hold off WIECZOREK. WIECZOREK's strong card is a finish line into the track. Look at this. WIECZOREK comes back again. Well, he has got this track figured. He'll give you the first half, but the finish line's at the end of the second.
So the semifinals are set, and coming up next on Power Tracks.
Power Tracks and the Renegades TNT Monster Truck Challenge is brought to you by TNT Motorsports, the nation's leader in pulling and monster truck racing.
And we are back with Power Tracks in Kalamazoo, Michigan. It is time for the semifinals, but better than that, I might say it's time for Civil War, Army. It is the North, USA 1, the defending national champion with Rod Litzau against South, Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger. Neither of these guys really like each other of late. As a matter of fact, there could be a little jealousy on behalf of them. Gravedigger, the popular truck, USA 1, got a lot of money behind him, and here we are. They're fighting it out.
Richard, a while ago when USA 1 ran, we used the bear story. What we got here is opening the door and two bears are in the room. They're just going to fight it out amongst themselves. And it is going to be close. I guarantee you, look at this. They're coming along. Richard, final jump side by side. Almost went over the Gravedigger. They're trying to shut the USA 1 down. He's going way out the end of the track, and I have no idea who won that race.
Well, that makes two of us, and Digger has got some problems. Gravedigger has got some serious problems at the end of the track. There you see the finish line tape, and it is Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger getting the win just barely over Rod Litzau and USA 1. However, big-time problems on the Digger machine down there, as I can definitely see a right front tire that is totally flat. We don't know what other problems might be underneath it, but the big news, Dennis Anderson got his hands around USA 1 and strangled him for a win.
Dennis Anderson, when this thing started tonight, you told us you were going after USA 1. You lined up next to him, and you got him. What's going through your mind right now?
Well, I was glad I could pull it off. I pulled to the line. I didn't have second gear, so I had to bump it from low to third and just stay after it, and I was going to nail him to the wall, and that's what I did. Done a little bit of damage to the truck, but who cares? I beat him.
What goes through your mind at a time like that? That's almost scary.
Well, it is. It's blood and guts out here. You know, we're for real. You know, we're here to win the points champion. We got big purse to win, and we got reputations to live up to, and we're going to live up to them.
And you're going to the final. We'll see you there.
All right, thanks.
Rod Litzau, 7/100ths of a second. So little, but yet so far.
Yeah, I don't know. I ain't way I planned it out here. I was pushing it to the limit there. I don't know. I thought it was a lot closer than that. I don't know. Maybe I have to review the tape again. I don't think he got me because I was looking out the side of I was looking out the side. I could see him behind me, so I don't know if he got me there.
So you got some doubt as to whether or not he did beat you?
Yeah, I'd like to see the tape on it.
Rod, I'm sorry, partner. I may like you, but you lost the race. Gravedigger wins it by a tire thread. He's in the finals. Who's he going to face? Either David Morris and Equalizer or Dave WIECZOREK and Nightlife.
WIECZOREK's been working his way up all night long. One difference, though. WIECZOREK is now moved into the right lane. Morris saw how quick he was running. He had lane choice, so he puts WIECZOREK in a lane he's not familiar with, and it's paid dividends. You know, in the Anderson interview a moment ago, he referred to blood and guts out here. That's what it's getting down to. Now we've got two of them.
And those two are the Gravedigger and the Equalizer. They'll be in the championship in just a moment. But first, it is time for the Renegade TNT Question of the Week. And this question of the week comes from 9-year-old Paul Geroltowski of Gibsonia, Pennsylvania. And Paul wants to know how much horsepower the monster trucks have and how they determine it. With me is Jesse Berge. Jesse is the owner and driver of the Playing for Keeps machine. And Jesse, what about it?
Well, Paul, the horsepower on the monster trucks varies between probably 750 and a little over 1,200 horsepower. Most of it is estimated. I don't think anybody really has an accurate figure on what we make. It's a lot of it determined by the weight of the truck. The heavier truck needs a little more horsepower. Some of the lighter trucks can get by with a little bit less.
And what about your truck, Playing for Keeps?
My motor makes right at 800 horsepower.
All right, so as you can see, Paul, the difference really depends upon the driver and the truck. And if you have a question of the week, send it to us at TNT Motorsports, 5515 Poplar Park Boulevard, Louisville, Kentucky, 40228. And if we use one of your questions on a future ESPN broadcast, we'll send you free a TNT Motorsports hat. A major development here tonight, Army. We just got word Dennis Anderson is not going to be able to race in the finals. The damage in that race against USA 1 was too much to repair. So Rod Litzau and USA 1 comes back against David Morris and the Equalizer for the big piece of cake.
Litzau comes back not only for the final run, he's coming back with blood in his eyes. He wants to win in the worst way. Whatever it takes for USA 1 to win, that's what he's going to do. He's going to try to put the rookie on the trailer. Final jump, who's it going to be? Litzau. And he's in trouble down here again, Richard.
Rod Litzau is on his side. I can see him scurrying out of the truck. Drivers running down, emergency crew running down. Rod Litzau got the win. The helmet comes off. He's okay. And Army, I didn't see him with any trouble.
No, when he's straight at this point in time on a replay, he must have an actual brake, because when he tagged the brakes, that's when it went over. Slow roll. Man, that was an expensive roll.
Well, I told you earlier, the guys on the circuit call him Flipper. That is why Rod Litzau puts it on its side. That's his crew chief, Steve Wilkie, checking to make sure he's okay. But the big news is Rod Litzau gets the win here in Kalamazoo.
A costly win, Richard, but believe me, the True Value USA 1 team, they will be back.
So Rod Litzau, despite flipping over for the 6th time in less than a year, gets the win tonight, and he inches even closer to the lead in the national point standings. He is currently sitting in 3rd place.